All right, so there needs to be some choice made there. Now, we could get in a big side tangent and go off, but suffice to say for now is that God is allowing man, Adam here, to do everything. He says, for one thing, he says, don't touch that because I don't want you to get hurt and I don't want you to die. All right, that's why it's there. That's why we have a lot of the laws we have today. Most of them are there for our protection. With our little children, we tell them, don't touch that, you'll get hurt. It's not because we're trying to keep them from having fun or whatever. We just know better than they do, and we love them, and we don't want them to get hurt. So that's what God said. And this was all before, Eve comes on the scene. So verse 18, it says, and the Lord God said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helper comparable to him. Out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field, every bird of the air, and brought them to Adam to see what he would call them. And whatever Adam called each living creature, that was its name. All right, so you can imagine how long did this take Adam and God as he brought these parade of who knows how many creatures and birds and things, and Adam was toucan. What? That one looks like an elephant, God. I mean, it must have been an amazing process where God was showing Adam all these things. Adam got to name these things. Who knows what he was calling them back then? But we can just sometimes the wheels just turn and we just we get to thinking that way. And so God's bringing all these things, and so it says in verse 20, so Adam gave names to all the cattle, to the birds of the air, to every beast of the field, but for Adam there was not found a helper comparable to him. And the Lord God, notice here we still get this Lord God going on, and it says, he caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs, and this is more in the Hebrew is took from his side. Whether it was a rib or not, we're not really sure. But what God did is he's taking a rib, or today we would say he was cloning, except for God doesn't clone him. What he does is he takes, and this is one of those scientific things that verifies the Bible. Now let me just finish this, and we'll come back to a quick chromosome overview. And it says, verse 21, and the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall on Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs out from the side and closed up the flesh in its place. Then the rib which the Lord God had taken from man, he made into a woman. And he brought her to the man, okay? And man in Hebrew is Adam, okay? And we'll begin to discuss some of that too when we get into some genealogy on the translations of Hebrew to proper names and places. Most of the time they're just transliterated and not translated. So Adam means man. And it says, and Adam said, God brings Eve over, right? And Bill Cosby, I remember seeing this thing he did. And, God gets to name all the creatures, and, and then God makes Eve and brings them over. And you can imagine, because this was the first perfect woman, all right? And remember, everybody had sinned after that, so Eve must have been a knockout. So Bill Cosby surmises that when Eve was brought to Adam, he went, whoa, man! And that's where woman comes from. Probably not, but that's Bill Cosby and myself are not theologians. But anyway, I thought that was funny to just throw that out there. But anyway, this is what Adam does really says, this is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. All right. And therefore, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Okay. There's this going to be an ongoing theme here, and this is the institution of marriage is ordained. Okay. Jesus even quotes this, where he says, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed, because sin hadn't marred this yet. And so let's go back up and do that quick chromosome lesson that we have. Now, some people scoff at the idea that God made man first, because a lot of the cults and fertility cults and stuff like that see life coming from women because of the way that they're born. So you can imagine if you were back in the ancient culture and stuff, and you saw, you didn't understand the whole biological process that we've only recently begun to understand today, is that when a man and woman come together in a sexual union and a child is conceived, the man and the woman each give 26 pairs of chromosomes to make that child. Men have both pairs of X chromosomes and an X and a Y in the other pair. Women, okay, to make a woman, you need to have X chromosomes to have the woman. Men would be a Y, an X and a Y. You're going to have a man, all right? And so for the original chromosomes, if we just had a woman who has X chromosomes, we would have no Y, and we wouldn't be able to get a man from a woman. But we do from the man, because he has two X chromosomes and an X and a Y. So we're able to get both a man and a woman out of a man from his set of chromosomes. Just a real brief, biology topic there. But it just goes to show you that's another one of those scientific type of facts that is in the Bible. It's implied here, and we know today that that could have happened. And God could have done it any way he wanted, but there's these little things like this that always come along that just verify the authenticity of the biblical account. So God doesn't clone, he actually makes out of those pairings and makes a woman, Eve. And he ordains marriage. And if you remember at the end of Genesis chapter 1 there in day 6, that God commands them to, and he blesses them, right? And he says, be fruitful and multiply. And he brings Eve, who must have just been an absolute knockout. And so that's it for basically Genesis chapter 2. We're going to end this segment right here, this show, with that. And when we come back next time, and I was hoping to get into it here, but it's probably going to take us a little while to unpack the Tetragrammaton, the Lord God. So come back for that next one. What we're going to do is we're just going to take a slight sidebar and look at God's covenant name, the Tetragrammaton, the Lord God, Yahweh God. Okay, so anyway, let's end this session. Thanks for being with us. My name's Keith McKenzie. This is Winds of Change. Come back and see us again for the next session. God bless you.